Hi, I'm Jeff Cobham. I'm the new Artistic Director of Patch Theatre. The show Zoom comes from my fascination with light and with the book Harold and the Purple Crayon. Basically the book's about a boy who arrives on a blank page and all he has is a purple crayon, and he uses that purple crayon to build his worlds. Zoom has taken that as a starting point, but instead of a crayon we have light as the device for creating our worlds. I've always been pretty amazed by very simple things like the trick of perspective. And I wanted to combine those two things, the exploration of perspective and the exploration of light, and that was the beginning of Zoom. The word zoom for me refers to the speed of light and also refers to the perspective change, which happens often in the show. There's often very tiny things in the show and then they become very big things. There's a little pixel of light falls into a girl's bedroom and she meets that light and together they go on adventures. And the light starts as a little pixel, turns into a line, and the lines become animation. I spent some time with some 4-year-old triplets who would come to my studio and we would just muck around with light together, and through me watching them and playing with them I learnt what light means to them and how they see what looks like magic, how they understand it. And so they just reminded me really of how the simple things about light are the powerful things. The work that we like to create is like an abstract painting and your experience of that. So the children at the 4 to 8-year-olds, particularly the younger ones, they're not that interested in a linear narrative. We give them an emotional narrative, but they make up the linear narrative. And there's 20 different versions of that show that kids have told me what the show means, which we're really happy with. We're trying to connect to their imagination. We're trying to create an experience that inspires them to go back to their lives and amplify what they've learned. We also do a program where we work with teachers. In this case, we ask them to bring a piece of dark to the show, which to an adult is quite a daunting, and you go, what does that mean? To a child, there's no problem at all. You just say, bring a piece of dark, and they're all over it. They'll go and find dark. They know lots of places where there's dark, and they know how to collect it and how to bring it to the show. And then when they arrive at the show, they're met by keepers of the dark in the foyer who have sacks that they put the dark in that we then use in the show. Because you can't make a show about light without having some dark. The things that brought us have been incredible, from tunnels with bats hanging in them, telescopes that have ends on them so you can only see dark, sealed boxes that you can't get into because they're full of dark. It's been amazing and very creative play, and it really sets up the tone for the show. All the children are given a light to take into the show, and this light is like a night light to keep them safe during the show, because that's the first experience of theatre for many of these children. Being in the dark is quite confronting to them, so they all have a little light to keep them safe. But later on during the show, that light is interactive and they get to control the show. It's very powerful. It's been a very powerful thing for them to have, to all be in control of the show through sharing this experience of all having a light that connects them. And our performer she breaks through the fourth wall, she comes into the audience and she connects with them with the light in a really magical way. My favourite heckle so far from the audience has been, "That's impossible!" and lots of, "How did you do that?" It's so amazing to be able to give kids who have every screen and every virtual reality amazing experience. Like, to be able to give them wonder, and a lot of the magic we do is very simple old magic, and it's probably the strongest in the show. There's not a lot of digital in the show. It's controlled digitally, but there's a lot of analogue still. They see on stage a young performer who is able to solve problems, because the show is a series of problem solution, which is what the book Harold is about. The audience, who have the same light that she has, she's solving problems. They have the agency to solve problems in their world too, and to live in wonder. And I know the kids as they come out are completely empowered to see light in a different way and use it in a different way in their play.
Those little monster thingies, and I like those lights. I like how they keep pictures. I thought it was magic. The laser looked really cool, and I think it was awesome. It was amazing. There was like so many different surprises, and it was really enjoyable. I like the magic that the girl did. It was absolutely amazing. 5 stars.